Hey, it's Brian at the Economic Report. Thank you for joining me. Hey, today we're talking about the 10-year countdown for Generation Xers and what we should be doing right here, right now to prepare ourselves for a future retirement. And of course, how do we make sure that we've taken care of everything we can take care of now while we can so we can enjoy that retirement that you deserve in the future. And of course, all that we're asking you for is a like and a subscribe. I'll even share my dog Charlie's picture with you if you hit like and subscribe, and drop a comment below because I'd love to hear from you. Let's continue. So you're 45 to 60 and you're feeling more and more like you're behind on your retirement. And first and foremost, I want to remind you, you're not alone. Number two, quite often it's really not your fault, but after this video, you're going to have a solid idea about what you can be doing to make sure you're going to have the quality retirement that you deserve. Number two, you can get rid of some of these pestering ideas that seem to follow you into your sleep and bother and disrupt your sleep patterns. And these are the important things to talk about, because when we iron these things out together, amazing things are going to happen. So first of all, I'm not going to call anybody out on being lazy. I don't think that's really the case at all. What happens instead is we get overwhelmed with information, and if you're one of those people that deal with information overload, well, you're not alone, and that's part of the things that one Generation X has been dealing with here. And so that overload is very, very powerful, and it's a new phenomena hitting our generation particularly. And I also want to remind you that chances are you're not a bad decision maker. Quite often people want to guilt you into making you feel bad about yourself, and that's really not the case at all. What I'd rather do is offer you some empowerment about how you can move your game forward today. So I want to remind you that life happens, and I want to make sure that we're understanding there's a chance to give yourself a bit of forgiveness and maybe a little bit of grace here in the process, because everybody's running their own race. Everybody's writing their own books, and each page, each chapter, what we're putting into life right here and right now. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. Hey, you have kids, you have parents, and of course you have lifetime decisions that come up, and I don't know how you've handled those, but today's video is not about any of those things that you may have regrets about. Instead, I want to make sure that we're building a plan to move your game forward, because that's really where the rubber meets the road. So first of all, let's do one thing here, and it's to know your number. Now, when I say know your number, we can try this, that knowing your number really means that you're very aware of what your number actually is. Be aware of what are your annual expenses. Add the number 25 to there, and that should give you a pretty good idea of what you're going to need in retirement to survive and lead a dignified retirement. And if I could give you a little bit of a deeper insight, there's a very, very powerful formula that's going to be designed to help the viewers of this channel out. So if I could say that whatever behavior you're trying to accomplish, here's the three things that matter most. Your motivation to get something done. Number two, your ability to get something done. And finally, number three, we're talking about the prompt to get things done. And maybe today, this video here serves as a prompt to really dig in deeper and do a pulse and check where you are with your retirement, because the bottom line is, just like you're checking your oil before you go on a long trip, today you're checking the oil of your retirement plan and see where you're at. And if you get some bad news, that's okay. You're still about 10 years out from retirement, and so we can take a tactical plan about solving things, and I think you're going to be really pleased with some of the things you feel, because at the very end of this video, it's really about being empowered. So the first lever you want to really pay attention to is debt reduction. If you could take a look at your credit card statements, for instance, go through each one and make sure you get a paper copy of these, and you can go through and discuss with your spouse which expenses can be gotten rid of on a regular basis, particularly the ones that are recurrent. And when we're talking about bigger debt reduction, we can talk about knocking out your mortgage, although many of you have mortgages that are probably at about 3% right now. But of course, there's that HELOC as well, and that HELOC is one thing that is plaguing Generation X. And of course, there's other expenses. I realize some of you are carrying debt for your children. You got weddings going on. You may have car expenses. So all of those things are things that you want to tackle. Number two, if there's a gift you can give yourself, then do yourself a favor and just give a 1% increase in your contribution into your 401k or your 403b or your Roth IRA. I promise you, it's something you will not regret. And maybe you can think about this as your future self will thank you for making an increase in that contribution. And when you look at things that way, what's one gift you can give yourself today? Well, one gift you can give yourself today is looking out for your future self. And by doing that little increase in your contribution, you're going to say thank you in the future. I promise. And number 3, if I could ask you to really get in line with your spending alignments, I know that there's been these ideas that are sold to Generation X that you're missing out, or you're not doing this, or you owe yourself that. But most of all, you owe yourself your sanity, right? You owe yourself and your family a dignified retirement. And of course, that means that you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your family, and of course, also establishing some limits, because limits are super helpful. For instance, I have a doctor who follows his channel, and he has told me that he makes sure all of his kids are paying 25% of their expenses, and I'm talking about even in college. Now, you might say to yourself, that seems cheap, that sounds wrong, and I'm like, I don't know, I like the idea, because he's making sure the children know that he's not a bottomless pit of money, or the money well. So I want to share that idea with you as a strategy, because you love your children and you want to position them for success. But by the same token, you want to make sure it's not happening at your own betterment, because you do have a future, and your future you is who you have to take care of at the end of the day. Most parents want to raise their children to become independent and responsible. And if you do those two things, you're doing a lot, and maybe giving them a bit of a reality check about the value of a dollar. It's a powerful place to be. And so if I could build you a quick don't do list right now, I would say maybe try to avoid the new car or the lease, because these things are very enticing and they sound really good when you see them pitched to you on TV, but in reality, Dave Ramsey refers to a lease as a fleece, right? And there's nothing worse than putting $4,000 down on a car, driving it for 3 years, paying $500 a month, and bam, after 3 years, you have nothing to show for your money. If you're able to finance a used car, and quite often there's some very, very good deals going on, it may be a better option for many of the viewers. And if I could throw something else out there to you, there is something called lifestyle creep, that when you get a raise or your salary goes up, your commissions go up. Also, make sure you're not putting all that extra money into buying new stuff that really doesn't matter to anybody except you, because there's this idea that you've been dealing with some kind of depravity. As a matter of fact, that's what's marketed to us. But I just have to tell you straight up that what you really need to do is pay down your debt with that extra money. That's the powerful place to be. And of course, remember, don't quit on your investing, because once again, your future self will thank you for doing the due diligence today by making sure you're investing on a regular basis and letting the compound effect take place. And if I could add a mindset shift, the idea is you're not starting late, you're starting now. And if you're started already, that's great. The question is, can you improve what you're doing? Because if we talk about motivation, you want to fix things. Number 2, you have the ability to increase or decrease the way you're approaching your retirement. And this video, treat this as the prompt to help you move your game forward, and don't wait till tomorrow. Leave a comment below, and I want to remind you that I appreciate all your comments, liking and subscribing this channel. And most of all, folks, I want to remind you that the biggest battle we're fighting every single day is the one between our ears, over our thoughts, our actions, and our attitude. This is Brian at The Economic Report. Share this with others, because you know there are other people just like you who would benefit from hearing this channel. And thank you very much, and I'll catch you next video. Have a great day.